is up, you guys, and welcome to the Chosen League podcast, where Fire Sports content is the name of the game. I'm your host, Devon. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. Watch this video all the way to the end because I don't want you guys missing out what I have in store for you today. Bryce Young is on the hot seat right now. I mean, coming to find out he's being benched. Really? This is a bunch of baloney. How do you bench a high draft pick? And I understand that some high draft picks are, you draft this player high and you think he's destined to be great, and he turns out not being who he not being who he was destined to be, not living up to the hype. But when it comes to Bryce Young, this man is worth it. Let me question for discussion. Did the Panthers do right by benching Bryce Young? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And he's also drawing interest from several teams. I mean, plenty of teams. But when you talk about Bryce Young, he's only played 2 seasons with the Panthers. So looking at it here, he's played 2023, played 16 games, 59.8% completion, 2,877 yards, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. And then in 2024, only played 2 games, 55.4% completion, 245 yards, 3 interceptions, and 6 sacks. Now, when I look at the Carolina Panthers, they haven't done it. They haven't done much to build around Bryce Young. I understand, yes, he's a high draft pick. Yes, you pay him money because you're expecting him to succeed because you see his potential. But even though you've seen this man's potential, he can't do it alone. This is a team sport. If you don't build around your quarterback, he's not going to be successful. And that's the thing about you know Bryce Young. Maybe he's not a fit there. To be honest, he's not really a fit for the Carolina Panthers. That's why, they brought in Andy Dalton. Okay, yeah, he wins one game he wins one game for the Carolina Panthers. Can he do it again and again and again? Can the Carolina Panthers rely on Andy Dalton? Who knows? But anyways, moving on. What the Panthers did in their moves during the offseason, during the season. Um, Acquiring wide receiver from the Steelers, Deontay Johnson. September 21st, they elevated defensive lineman Deshaun Williams from the practice squad to the active roster. September 19th, they promoted linebacker Taron Jackson to the active roster. And then they signed another linebacker. Like, make up your mind what y'all gonna do. Then September 18th, they re-signed tight end Jordan Matthews to the practice squad. Then they signed a safety, Russ Yeast, to the practice squad. And then September 17th, they elevated Felipe Franks, the tight end, from the practice squad to the roster. And then at that time, they released tight end Jordan Matthews, before they brought him back. And then it goes on and on from there. But looking at the history of quarterbacks for the Carolina Panthers, 18 quarterbacks have come and gone throughout this franchise. And to be quite honest with you guys, the one quarterback that's actually taken the Panthers as far as he could in terms of going to the Super Bowl, that is Cam Newton. Cam Newton took him to the Super Bowl. He put the team on his back and did as best he could. Then you got Taylor Heinicke, who also had his moment with the Washington Commanders. You have Kerry Collins, Matt Moore, Kyle Anderson, P.J. Walker, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater has done great for himself throughout his career. Sam Darnold, Will Greer, David Carr, Josh McCown, Chris Wink, Rodney Peete, Frank Rich, Derek Anderson, Vinny Verde, Steve Berlin, and last but not least, Jake Delhomme. All these players all these quarterbacks that have come and gone out of the Panthers franchise. And you see here, it's like this. Cam Newton was the truth. Ron Rivera and Cam Newton had a great relationship from head coach and player. Cam Newton understood his assignment. He understood his expectations. He Cam Newton was at the time and still is. He was a game changer. That's who he was. and he revolutionized the game with his style of play, being a dual threat quarterback. But when it comes to Bryce Young played in Alabama. He came into a situation where he knew what this team was about. Obviously, Alabama being under Nick Saban, the expectations are high, and you have to play your game and you have to excel at a high level. You come into the NFL, yeah, you still have to excel at a high level, but the defense is totally faster. And the problem here is with these franchises and organizations, you're expecting a player to play it out, even though he doesn't have the right team. He may not have the necessary players on the team. What as an organization, if you're in a mentality where you want to win, what are you gonna do to make sure that this is your high draft pick and you see value in him, why not build a team around him so he can get things going? Look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at Lamar Jackson. They're spread. Their contract is spread out so they get their money, but at the same time they make room for other players to get on their team, other great players to get on the team, so they can continue winning and dominating their division and winning a Super Bowl. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals, for example. They don't have a great O line, just like the Panthers. They have a great quarterback, and they got Jamar Chase. Guess what? You're paying both of these guys, and look, you lost Joe Mixon and didn't replace him. So now you guys are stuck. You're stuck with a 1-2 punch. You're stuck with two great players, and at the same time, the organization is not doing anything to make this team better. So therefore, you're just going to be a team who's probably decent in the regular season. You might have a playoff appearance if you have a great year, and that's all you're going to get. But the last thing I want to talk about before I end the show, the destinations for Bryce Young. Number one, I got the Dolphins. Looking at the situation with Tua Tagovailoa, they basically their first string quarterback is out. Tua Tagovailoa due to a concussion. I feel like he should retire because he doesn't need to take any more punishment with the wear and tear of a concussion. Skylar Thompson, their second string quarterback who got hurt in the game with a chest injury, he's out. Put Bryce Young with the Miami Dolphins playing under Mike McDaniels. I guarantee you he's going to thrive and be successful. And I know you're saying chosen, yeah, because the Dolphins are a stacked team. They got a great team. Exactly. Sometimes a change of scenery is what you need. And Bryce Young has shown that he can actually win when he has the right pieces around him. Panthers are not doing right by him. They're just expecting him to do it regardless of his situation. The Browns, it's a bit iffy with Deshaun Watson. He's not looking like his usual self. Also, we got the Raiders. Antonio Pierce is looking to make change. I mean, yeah, he's looking to make changes. They still haven't decided who their quarterback is. You know, that's coming up about Saints. That would be nice to see Bryce Young with the Saints because they actually have a great team as well. And then last but not least, you have the Rams. Just in case if the Rams, Sean McVay says, "I'm moving on from Matthew Stafford. We don't think your time. We feel like your time is up." They go ahead and move over towards Bryce Young and give him the keys. Hey, go for it. But yeah, this has got to stop. The Panthers are just doing a disservice by Bryce Young. Yeah, he's a high draft pick. Yeah, you see his value, you see his potential, but you as an organization, you have to put pieces around him. You have to try to make things happen. Do something about it. Don't just expect him to do it all by himself. The same with Justin Fields in Chicago. They didn't build around him, and plus he wasn't a great fit for Chicago. Now he's successful with the Steelers. I feel like the same would apply to Bryce Young. Once he gets on another team and change of scenery, new offensive scheme, new team, he will be a better threat. He'll be a force to be reckoned with. But anyways, that is all for today's episode. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. I'm Devon, and I'm signing off.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show.